that is it. Full time at Turner's Cross. And the points are shared. Cork City's 4th draw of the season. City went ahead, of course, through Rory Keating's penalty, his 3rd goal of the campaign. And then that was wiped out in the second half by Warren Davis. And your overall assessment, Conan?
Yeah, I think Drogheda started the game very well. And I think after the first 20 minutes, Tim Clancy would have snatched your hand off with a point from the game. Having said that, when they went 1 goal ahead, he will be disappointed to concede the way they did. But all in all, probably a fair result overall.
So Cork City stretched their unbeaten run at Turner's Cross. The leaders held here in Cork. Full time, Cork City 1, Drogheda United 1. Back to Tommy and the lads in studio.
Yeah, honours even at Turner's Cross, and the friends reunited. Kevin Doherty and Tim Clancy get to shake hands and hug it out at the end. A point apiece. Drogheda having the better of the chances. They will go off the top of the table as things stand with the results elsewhere. We'll bring you up to date on all that. Lots of goals of controversy around the league. Some of it in Turner's Cross, as you can see with the discussion going on there. We'll get to all that with Owen Doyle and Keith Tracy after this break. The Women's Six Nations continues this weekend. We have 2 live games to bring you tomorrow on Virgin Media 2 and streaming on Virgin Media Play. It's France and Scotland from 10 to 1, and then it's Italy, Ireland, the big one of the weekend from our point of view on Virgin Media 1, Sunday 2:30. Back to this evening, and it has finished all square at Turner's Cross. Cork City 1, Drogheda United 1. Warren Davis second half goal cancelling out Rory Keating's first half penalty. You can see there the Drogheda dominating in terms of scoring attempts, but not in possession. That's the way they roll. Drogheda, it's been really good for them, that approach so far this season. Wasn't to be in terms of getting the 3 points this evening. Let's hear from the player of the match, Benny Couto, with another impressive performance for Cork City this evening. He's tonight's player of the match, and he's standing by now with Anne-Marie Keegan.
Benny, congratulations. You're tonight's SSE Electricity Player of the Match. A point at home against the league leaders coming into tonight. Is that one you're happy with?
Yeah, thank you very much. Obviously, we want to get 3 points at home in front of our fans, but it's good to pick up another point. We're having positive performances, but again, we want to pick up as many 3 points as we can, especially at home. So, yeah.
It was one you had to work hard for as well. Plenty of defending bodies on the line there at times. I lost count of how many times you cleared it off the line.
Yeah, I thought we defended brilliantly, put our bodies on the line for the club. But I also think we had a lot of chances in front of goal, and we could have definitely won the game.
Home form, though, everybody keeps saying how important it is here at Turner's Cross. If it is a night like this where maybe you're not playing your best, how important is it just not to lose the match, to get something out of it?
Yeah, that's always our main focus when we're at home, get as many points as we can, because obviously it's a fantastic stadium, fantastic fans. When we've got the crowd behind us, it gives us another strength to carry on and hold on to as many points as we can.
Speaking of home, it looks like you've settled in really well here at Cork City.
Yeah, I'm loving it, and I'm grateful for everything.
Well done tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're hoping for big things from him, Benny Couto, just 21, and he had a big prospect when he was a teenager, and his career kind of didn't pan out the way that he might have hoped, and now he's a chance to really make a name for himself at Cork City. But something he said, and Anne-Marie asked him about in that interview, I think was probably accurate in the sense that Cork had to put bodies on the line and defend and make blocks and saves in terms of the goalkeeper as well to get that result this evening, Owen, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at kind of how the game panned out, and whatever about Cork having lots of possession, the key moments were them saving balls off the line and Drogheda being very effective when they got into the box. Unfortunately, from a Drogheda point of view, they just weren't able to get the ball across the line to kind of get that winner in the end. Big chance at the end there. Farrell with an excellent ball in. Unlucky not to get on the end of it, but they're Drogheda kept knocking on the door. They were happy to concede possession. I think Cork may have just got away with one there tonight. If you're into expected goals, by the way, Drogheda's XG was 3.28 over the night, and Cork's was just 1.54, and a big chunk of that was the Rory Keating penalty. So maybe Drogheda might go up the road thinking that they could have won this one, Keith. You're going to look at the
the goal that earned them the points, the Davis goal. And it's an interesting one. Conan highlighted in commentary. Cathal O'Sullivan, 18-year-old starlet. We're all excited to see him. Comes on. But unfortunately, it's him that loses the ball. And Drogheda so ruthlessly punished Cork, don't they?
Yeah, it's just a bad decision from the young man. You know, when he's down the wing, he should be looking at Brennan and thinking, I should have the legs on the older player. But he comes inside, Brennan picks his pocket. Lovely 1-2 with Farrell and Heaney's on his bike. I thought he should have played it to the left, but once he plays it to the right, Anderson, the defender, not sure what he's doing there from a Cork point of view. Once the ball goes here, he has to keep him outside. If Davis shoots on his right foot and puts it in the bottom corner, you say brilliant finish. You cannot allow him inside, because once he comes inside, he can do that with his left foot, or he can go to the near post with his right foot. He just opens up the goal. But what that little 1-2 in the middle of the pitch just opened everything up for him.
Yeah, I think you have to applaud Davies' movement though as well. You know, and I made the big striker heading me, but he pretends to go in and pretends to get that ball in behind and checks out, kind of sells Anderson, leaves him the space. And Heaney's great. He's patient in his play when he's attacking through the middle. Very often a player in that position will be desperate to kind of lay off the ball. They don't want to waste an opportunity. He's patient, wait for Davies' movement. He makes it in, hangs back out, chops Anderson, great finish into the bottom corner. It was great play.
We might get a look at the other moment where he had the ball in the net in the first half in a minute, but that moment of controversy with the goal was disallowed. But what you wanted to focus on in terms of Drogheda's play was more how they sustained attacks, when they got on top of Cork City, they really got on top of them, and that's what led to those scrambles, balls cleared off the line, and accumulation of chances from Drogheda.
Yeah, there'd be so often when you look at teams that are kind of comfortable out of possession, you might have one lone striker up the pitch, and when the ball comes into the box, it's one striker fighting for his life, trying to keep it alive. That's not what the case with Drogheda at all. When that ball goes up into the box, they commit bodies fully. And if they don't win the first contact, they're very, very rarely they'll not get the second contact in the box. And they're just really, really good at just keeping things alive. Galway kind of have that same trait where they're kind of comfortable at just pumping balls into the box and just making a nuisance to themselves. Here you see, like they had 4 or 5 chances in this one moment. They kind of hit the back of the net, and unfortunate for them, it didn't go in. And it's good dogged defending, I suppose you could say, from Cork. Here they win the first contact again. It's a great ball in. Farrell's delivery's been excellent all night. It's a great ball into the box again. It's good save from the goalkeeper, heads straight at him. Here again, just keep it alive, patient. Farrell just hanging out for it. Doesn't get on the end of it. Again, drops to him. Keep it alive. They always seem to be there just to get on the end of things. Unfortunately with the shot there, it's straight at the goalkeeper. They're just kind of resilient, and they always pick their moments, and when they attack and when they do with the numbers. That's an excellent save. It's an excellent dinked cross to the back post. This is the trio ball I was talking about a few moments ago. That's a great pick out from Farrell. He's so unfortunate, like at the end of it, ends up having to come off injured due to it.
But is it fair to say that while they're a team that don't have a lot of possession in games, you could say, oh, they're an ultra-defensive team. But that's not the case, because, as you said, I think, to pick up something you said there, when they do go on the attack, they do commit numbers, so they are prepared to take risks.
100%. They don't seem too bothered with the middle of the pitch. I know they've scored their actual equaliser from breaking through the middle of the pitch, but regarding that, they don't it's whatever happens out of possession. They stay rigid in their system, and then when they pick their moments to attack, they do it as a unit and they go up the pitch very comfortably. And as I said, if it's not the first contact in the box, they're certainly alive for the second one.
Let's just maybe sum up Cork in terms of where they are. We'll look at some of their best bits of the evening, Keith. And Couto's involved a lot, Keating's involved a lot. This is a team with a lot of injuries as well. Sean Maguire, Dykesteele, Bulger, etc. So it's a point, and also your point before the game, and them being happy enough with where they are so far this season. Does that still hold?
Look, it does. I think taking a point at home to Drogheda, given how Drogheda have started, you think that's not a bad point at all. But when Tim Clancy on Monday morning gets the DVD out, when he looks at every passage of play, I think he would be thinking we were lucky there. Some of it's decent defending, some of it's decent goalkeeping, some of it's just luck, balls hitting each other. This is the very first couple of minutes inside the second minute. Keating should do a little bit better. This is Couto again, raiding down the wing, and that's where you need Sean Maguire. His movement is unbelievable. I know Crowley picks it back up, and for me, I'm still not convinced it's a penalty. It flies past Alex Nolan in a heartbeat, and all of a sudden it just hits the defender's arm. No conclusive
angle on that one, unfortunately.
I don't think his arm is out, Tommy, and I think there's two big decisions have gone against Drogheda. Cork you know, there's an awful lot more to come from them, as we said, with Dijksteel, Bulger and Shawnee Maguire. I'm sure Tim Clancy will be saying we will be better, we can do better. But defensively now, I think they've conceded 5 in their 4 home games already. And you would imagine what Cork want to do this season will all rely on the home form. So Drogheda coming, you know, for basically 90 minutes being the better team. Cork had 3 shots on target. One was a Kuto effort that was very, very comfortable. One was a penalty, and the other one again was a comfortable enough save. So these little moments, that's a brilliant ball in. You need Keaton bursting the gut to get across the front post. And I don't want to keep bringing his name up, but you'd imagine Shawnee Maguire would be the little fox in the box there.
Don't want to move on because you'd be accused of burying the lead there if we don't talk about the disallowed goal, because people who might have missed it because it was so early and might have missed the first half will be reading about it tomorrow and wondering, you know, we talked about it at halftime and you definitely felt that it was a justified decision, but Keith was of the opinion that, come on, really? You know, so let's have a look at it again and
yeah, no,
has your mind changed at all?
Listen, the goalie gets away with one here. He's blessed. Yeah. He's blessed that the decision's gone against him, because like literally a half an inch, if Davies' starting position's a half an inch outside the box, he's still going to block it and it's going to go in as a goal, you know. But look, I kind of said this at half time, like, lines are drawn on a pitch for a reason. His foot's on the line. If it's on the line, it's considered inside the box, and that's why it's disallowed.
Keith, has he swayed you?
No, not at all. I think it's extremely harsh. I mean, you can see the ref there just in picture. He's having a look at the lines and he's saying, what do you think? And between the two of them, they disallow the goal. But I think if you're a Drogheda player, Drogheda manager, you're absolutely fuming. Not just that standalone one, Tommy. I think letter of the law, his toes are on the line, so you can say that. But, you know, to referee with that sort of precision is unbelievable. So, and the penalty as well that was given against Drogheda, I'm sure they'd be coursing that look. Well,
yeah, I think there was a bit of cursing going on at the end of the game, wasn't there? When Doherty and Rob Hennessy got together. Let's take a quick break now because we have lots more still to get through before we are done. We'll have a roundup from around the grounds, of course, with all 10 teams in action this evening. It's goals all the way next. Now, lots more football coming up in the next few weeks. Next Friday, we are with Pats. They are at home to Shelburne, and then it's Shells again. The following Friday, another Dublin derby at home to Bows, and then the following Friday, it's Drogheda, and also taking on Shelburne. And then Monday, 21st of April, Easter Monday, no Shelburne, but it is a big Dublin derby between Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians on Virgin Media 2 that evening. Now, get back to this evening. 1-1 at Turner's Cross between Cork City and Drogheda. We can hear now from Drogheda boss Kevin Doherty, who is standing by with Anne-Marie Keegan.
Kevin, a point on the road. Given the chances you had overall, is it a night where you should be looking at 3 points?
We should, but probably the thing, like I just said it to the players there, I'm so proud of them. We were, nobody's done that to Cork. Like, the chances we had. Oh, unbelievable. And again, this is where, and this is why the players deserve absolute massive credit. We'd like 2 injuries yesterday, or during the week. We'd our centre forward, who was just come back, pulling up in the warm up, gone out. Darren Markey coming off at half time, and then the lads just come in and play so well. We go a goal down. Sorry, the big incident before we went to goal down.
Let's talk about that. Have you spoken to the officials? Have you seen it back?
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Well, like, he's not in the box. He's not. And again, people want to freeze frame and say, or his toe. It's not. Like, I watched it. We've worked on it all week. Ask Keegan. I'm sure Warren can talk about himself. But I don't want it. Like, you get into trouble if you talk about officials. But I don't know. And I am a little bit sick of coming out and he's a great fella and he's a nice, good referee and all that. But it's like something similar happened. I don't know. I feel we're being very, very harshly treated, and not just tonight. It's just I'm really not happy about this or tonight. I don't want to go on about the standard. They let other people talk about that because everybody talks about it, and probably for a good reason.
Have you spoken to the officials tonight?
Of course I have. You probably saw me. Yeah, but like Referee still hasn't seen it, because I spoke to him, which I find hard to believe. I'm not saying he's lying. I just can't believe that he hasn't seen it, because would have been, if I was him or any of them, it was the first thing I would have looked at half time. Because I think officials know they got it wrong and all that, but I am a bit, as I said, I'm a bit sick of Kev will be grand. Kev will say, I'm a good referee, or Kev will say and he's been a nice fella on the touchline. Maybe other people, I know people think I'm a bit mad on the touchline and jumping around and all that, but I'm very polite and all that to officials. There's other coaches and managers in the league that don't treat their officials with the same respect as I do, and I think they get a lot more than us. A lot more. But that's one thing. We go a goal down, all the injuries, the chances we create is phenomenal. As I said, I'd be interested to see the stats. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant performance by us. We come out in the second half, completely dominate the game, create chance after chance after chance. The goalkeeper has an excellent game. We missed, I don't know how many chances in the first half. I thought I'd be a little bit calmer after the game, but you got me going there.
Appreciate you talking to us, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Anne-Marie always gets them going. I don't know what she does. From the heart, Owen, and no more Mr. Nice Guy. It seems to be Kevin Doherty's thing. He feels he's too much of a nice bloke, and he's not getting decisions.
Highly emotive, wonderful interview, and strange for the side that were top of the league coming into tonight. You know, to feel that he's been harshly, or his side's been harshly treated throughout the season. Listen, I'm not with him on that goal. Kind of like, as I said, the Lions are the Lions. Whatever about the penalty, yeah, maybe he's got a point with that one. I just think it's probably something he won't say, but I think it's very important. When the standard of the league is rising, the standard of refereeing has to come along with it. So, like, as the league improves, and there's so many improvements across the league, it's important that the refs come along with that. I don't have the solution to that. I don't know anyone that really does, but it is important, you know.
I'm going to hold that thought, Keith, because we want to show the goals and the incidents from the other games, because there's a few talking points in that as well to kind of feed into that, and we'll get your reaction off the back of it. So we're going to have a look at what happened elsewhere in the Premier Division tonight, and we're going to start our roundup with Waterford, who were hosting second place St. Pat's at the RSC. So let's get into this one. And it was Keith Longside who'd lost their 2 games coming into this. We got the home fans off their seats early on, and it was that man, Padraig Amond, the captain, with a tremendous header, the 36-year-old showing still has plenty class. This one, however, had some very late drama. Firstly, St. Pat's equalised with just 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Poor old Darragh Leahy putting the ball into his own net with that header. And then with 10 seconds remaining of normal time. What about this free kick from Brandon Kavanagh? Absolute peach of a strike. The match winner in what was some turnaround from Stephen Kenny's team as they won away from home 2-1 in the night. Cue Bedlam in the away section down in the RSC. Let's head to Dalymount Park. Second bottom coming into tonight. Bohemians were at home to third place Galway United, unbeaten. And it was the visitors who took the lead inside 20 minutes. Former Glentoran player Bobby Burns picked out Moses Dyer with this perfect cross and the header too good for James Talbot. Watch this goal. Galway's second, extending their lead on the 66th minute. And it was quite something. Moses Dyer again, the Kiwi, with his second of the night, and probably one of the best goals of the season so far, and that was it. Galway winning on the road 2-0. Bohemians struggling once again. Their home woes at Dalymount continue. Now, bottom of the table, Sligo hosted Shelbourne with the champions without a win in 4 coming into this one. But it was John Russell's Sligo team that found themselves behind inside 3 minutes. Nightmare start. Oscar Van Hatten with a clumsy back pass, and the opportunistic John Martin put Shelbourne ahead. And the doom and gloom start to this season continued for Sligo when they conceded a second shortly after. James Norris linked up nicely with Kieran McEnroy, and he found the net with a sweet strike. Sligo did, however, grab a lifeline just before half-time, and it was the Birmingham boy, Rhys Hutchinson, for them, who guided the ball into the net to make it 2-1. But that was the only positive to show for Sligo in the evening. They lost the game 2-1 and finished with 10 men. Another controversial one coming here. Cian Kavanagh sent to the stands. He was shooting, but adjudged to have followed through with his studs and sent to the line for his trouble. And you can tell by his reaction what he made for it. What he made of it, I should say. Controversial one there again. And finally, big game in Tala. Shamrock Rovers at home to Derry City. What a start to this one. Ed McGinty, the Rovers goalkeeper, he was sent off for handling outside the box. A nightmare moment for the 25-year-old. No goals in the first half at Tallaght, but plenty of red on show. This time it was for Derry City, and it was a second yellow for Danny Mullen for this challenge on Aaron Green. And again, he was not happy with that decision. No more excitement then thereafter, and no goals, and it finished goalless. But that was another controversial one that there will be much talk about. There are the night's results. It's going from bad to worse from Bohemians' point of view. Another defeat for them, and Galway United soaring up the table again. Undefeated and 2-0 winners at Dalymount. Cork City 1, Drogheda 1 in our live game. Pats 4 wins and 5 for Stephen Kenny's men. 2-1 winners away to Waterford, as you saw, coming from behind. And Sligo Rovers beaten again, bottom of the table. Shelburne end that winless run, and it is not long ended. The later kick-off in Tallaght, Rovers 0, Derry City 0. And here's how the table looks. Many people's title favourites. I think Keith Tracy's title favourites, Pats. They've hit the top, but look at Galway United. They look like they're set to make a charge this season with their another really excellent run of form, backing up last season in second, and Drogheda still up there, and Shells just a point behind as well. Right, Keith, referees, officiating, controversial red cards, lots to talk about. Just give us your sense there. A lot of talking points out of this evening.
Yeah, I can understand the frustration from Kevin Doherty. You know, when you set a team up to go away from home to a Cork team that have a very good home record, you dominate the game from start to finish, you get a goal disallowed that's, you know, touch and go. I can understand it, but I still think it's a goal. I think he's referenced the fact that Drogheda have set up the press really high to go after the goalkeeper. They picked his pocket, and it would leave a really, really bad taste in the mouth. And then you look at the penalty, something, again, I'm not convinced it was a penalty. So 2 really harsh decisions going against Drogheda, but still keeping in the game. You know, being the better team defensively, look really, really solid. They look like they've goals in the team, and they don't mess about with the ball in the middle of the pitch. And as he said, they have their own injuries as well. Darren Markey going off at half-time was a big one. Bigger picture, though, is officiating an issue in this league? I mean, granted, Owen has said that he got it right with the disallowed goal. We haven't a conclusive angle on the penalty, but we've seen another couple of decisions in other grounds as well. And it's a talking point. Is it just managers moaning and fans moaning and refs getting unfair stick? No, I think just if we take this Friday in isolation, there's probably 4 or 5 decisions you're looking at and you're thinking they've changed the game. The only one that I agree with is the Ed McGinty red card. I think if he lets that ball run, the Derry striker just puts the ball in the back of the net. So that for me was a definite red card. There was a couple of... Like, you can give a second yellow card, but you've got to know there's repercussions, and that will lead to a red. So a little silly one there where there's not even a lot of contact between Green and the Derry player. You know, it's a foul, but it's definitely not a red card. So I don't know whether the referee thought we'll give a red, I'll give another.
Yeah, just 5 games tonight, like, and then 3 of them there's controversial refereeing decisions, you know. So I think it is a bit of it will be a talking point going through the next week for the manager. Nothing sure, and maybe distracted from a brilliant night for Pats and Galway, who sit top of the league after this evening's goings on. Thanks to Keith and Owen for tonight. We had a black cat on the pitch at Turner's Cross, but it was the Drugs who bit back this evening to earn themselves a point. Bye for now.